Donald Trump is totally baffled. And so are a lot of conservatives. Let me just share this conversation that Donald Trump had with his buddies on Fox and Friends today. And then let's bring Dan Gainor in and get his thoughts on it. Here's Donald Trump today on Fox and Friends.
What's your opinion about the protesters down at Wall Street?
Well, I think they're very well dressed. We had a lot of fun on the phone the other day with George, right? With George Lopez. He said they're the best dressed protesters he's ever seen. And I agree. In fact, one of them had a suit that was so beautiful, I want to find out who was the tailor.
Really?
But when you can't boil down your mission to one sentence, you can't get the same explanation from two protesters.
I know. Nobody knows why they're protesting, but they're having a good day. Well, I said on your show, a lot of them are down there for dating purposes. It's true. They're down there to meet people.
It's kind of, hey, Dan Gainor, the Vice President T. Boone Pickens Free Market Fellow with the Business and Media Institute, businessandmedia.org. Dan, welcome back to the program.
It's a pleasure to be back. And even I wouldn't quite sum it up that way, but I do think they definitely have messaging issues. It's the typical grab bag event where you have everything from death penalty to climate to attacks on corporate greed to attacks on capitalism to, whatever. But at the core of what they are saying is they're right about one thing. And I probably surprise them when I say this, but they are right about one thing. Things stink out there for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And when you work in the Washington bubble, and you now lived here too, and you see it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many people, if you're a federal employee, life is not that bad. If you're in Congress, life's not that bad. But if you're out...
If you're a lobbyist, life's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, but if you're in the rest of America... people or people in your family or maybe yourself, you're unemployed. It's interesting. On the 99% web, one of the many web pages devoted to this, they have a list of horror stories. And some of them, any human being in the world would feel bad for the people. You've been unemployed for a couple of years. You can't find a job. You have problems with health insurance. One family couldn't afford a puppy for their daughter. But at the same time, then you've got the push to get free college education. You've got some people on there.
You mean like all the other developed countries in the world have? How dare we?
Saying they're $120,000 or $130,000 in debt for student loans.
Right.
Now,
as does not happen in any other developed country in the world. Only the United States is that stupid.
No one
the 1% are not in debt, by the way, Dan. This is what people are talking about. The fact that the 1% in America are doing just fine, thank you very much. It's the other 99% of us who are screwed. And if you look at the ratio of income between the other 99% and the 1%, the 1%, the ratio of income now is back where it was in 1929. It's almost, we showed the graphs last night on TV. It's absolutely astounding. It wasn't in the 50s. It wasn't in the 60s. It wasn't in the 70s. It wasn't in the 80s. And then the Reagan tax cuts, it started creeping up into the 90s and the 2000s. And now we are exactly where we were in 1929. And now you've got the chief economist for Goldman Sachs.
Columbia University for $89,000 a year, where some of us went to public school, public colleges, public universities, and paid our own way. I paid my own way for 3 degrees. I don't want to pay somebody's $130,000 education bill so that they could get a fine arts degree and earn $25,000 a year.
I don't think, Dan, anybody is suggesting, and frankly, I don't think this is how it works in any of the European countries, that if somebody wants to go to an Ivy League school, or a very expensive school basically an Ivy League school, that should be paid for by the government, or all of that should be paid for by the government. But this is why Abraham Lincoln started the land-grant colleges. This is why Thomas Jefferson started the University of Virginia. They were both designed to be free colleges for everybody.
So let's see, they're mad at Wall Street. Now, hear me out for a second. They're mad at Wall Street because the federal government or the state governments run these colleges and universities, and then those colleges and universities are staffed and controlled by liberals, and they want to blame Wall Street for loaning them the money to go there, even though the prices keep going up because they're staffed and controlled by government.
I think that they're mad at Wall Street because Wall Street robbed us blind. After they got deregulated in 2000, they basically robbed not just us, but a whole bunch of other countries, sold them, crappy investments. You've got pension funds that have crashed. A lot of state pension funds have crashed because their value crashed because Wall Street died. And instead of having the average American, the 99% made whole, George Bush decided with the Bush bank bailout of 2008 what he decided to do was make the banksters whole. And those same banksters, like Bank of America, is now going to start a $5 per month charge on people who use debit cards, which are mostly low-income people, whereas if you never use your debit card, you're not going to have to pay that $5. And we loaned them $45 billion at virtually no interest.
Tom, if they're mad at Wall Street, then why aren't they mad at Obama, who got twice as much money from Wall Street as McCain did? Why aren't they
not about
connecting the dots? No, but they're 99%. We're there, the 99%. They're the 99% Obama voters.
Dan,
there are almost no Republicans in this crowd.
Dan, I don't think this is a partisan issue.
I think it absolutely is.
I really don't. I think that you're finding, and I'm getting calls from Tea Partiers, from people who showed up for the Tea Party events thinking that was the big insurgency. That was going to be the grassroots revolution. That was going to be the time when Americans were going to rise up and say, okay, we've had it. 38% of our economy when Ronald Reagan came into office was manufacturing, and 11% was finance, was banking, and all the things related to it. And that's how it is in healthy economies. And now it's absolutely reversed. It's 10% of our economy is manufacturing. We've lost 50,000 factories in the last 11 years, and 34% of our total economy now is finance.
All the jobs.
I beg your pardon?
When you regulate a factory so much that they can't produce.
This has got nothing to do with regulations, and you know it, Dan. This has to do with trade policy.
We've exported our pollution to China.
Absolutely.
So when you regulate pollution so much that you can't manufacture something.
So we should just all live in an environment that's so toxic, because that way we'll have jobs.
But there are complications.
Do you have any idea what you're saying, Dan? You're arguing for a return back to 1900?
We live in the land of unintended consequences. The left has gone on to war with business and industry for years, and then they complain that jobs get outsourced. You can't make a job so expensive that a company doesn't want to hire you.
This has nothing to do with going to war on business. This has to do with having or not having a national trade policy. We haven't had a national trade policy in the United States since the Reagan administration.
Occupy Wall Street. I mean, if you read the list, their list, it hits everything from the death penalty to
there is no list.
Everything.
There is no list. What you've got, Dan, is a country that, as the result of 30 years of Reaganomics, including NAFTA, CAFTA, and SHAFTA, this is bipartisan, which came during the Clinton administration. 30 years of Reaganomics has destroyed the middle class of this country. We have wealth inequality in this country like we literally have not seen since 1929. We are the most unequal country of the fully developed countries. We are the least socially mobile of the fully developed countries. And when Ronald Reagan came into office, the exact opposite was true of both those things.
Tom, we've gone through years of ever-increasing regulation.
This has nothing to do with regulation, Dan. If anything, it has to do with deregulation. When we did away with Glass-Steagall and we let the banksters do whatever they wanted starting in 2001, they brought us a boom and a crash, just like they did from 1920 to 1929.
Well, actually, they aren't the only ones who brought us a boom and a crash. American public fully embraced the boom and bust economy.
Well, of course, people are going to buy into it. Everybody's telling them to. The banksters are getting rich. Hey, I'm the average guy. Why don't I get rich too? But the fact of the matter is that
people got greedy. People got greedy at every level.
People were allowed to behave greedily because the regulations were taken away. Glass-Steagall was taken away. Anyhow, Dan Gainor, businessandmedia.org. Dan, good talking with you.